Good evening. Good evening. Well, I got a pretty late start. It's almost midnight here, and I wasn't going to do anything like an episode, but I decided I needed to. I have so many things on my mind, and I'm going to do an episode this evening or tonight, almost midnight, because I have two things that have been weighing on me. And this episode is going to piggyback off of what we've been talking about past two episodes, but I'm going to segue back into an area that I haven't done for quite a while. I'm always, we're talking about race and cultures, and you can't do anything in this country or anywhere in the world without someone or something having to do with race. And of course, race is a component within cultures. So I want to continually talk about this issue with Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White. And I haven't touched on this situation, anything about Donald Trump. But one thing that we always must realize as we experience this evening together, remember, whatever your thoughts are, the truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. So many times we get caught up in accepting what the media says and we accept that truth. We hear someone down the street say something about a situation, we want to accept their truth. But the truth comes within you. You can't fall for the okey doke or believe everything someone else says and or tells you. And we've gone through a few years where we're told that we can't believe our eyes. We've seen issues of January 6th. We experienced killings in our streets with Renee Good, Alex Preddy, and a person you didn't hear much about, Keith Porter, on New Year's Eve, and other atrocities. But we have seen them, those things, with our eyes, but we're told that that is not the truth. But the truth shall set you free. So I just kind of want to let you explore or engage yourself with what I'm going to show you tonight. Excuse my voice. I've been doing some work and some different things, and my voice is kind of hoarse or sore tonight. But it all gets back to culture. All gets back to culture. I've often told you to pay attention to that poem behind me here. You belong here. You matter. You are worth it. You are important. You are loved. You have a voice, which gets back to what we've experiencing, freedom of speech. You have a voice. Because you have a voice and people should hear what you have to say, even if they don't agree, it gets to the next one because you are valued. But it all gets down to the last one. You are respected. So as you listen to some of the things I'm going to say tonight, remember the truth shall set you free. I'm going to go jump into the whole thing with this area here that I haven't touched on this much. A lot of things are going on in this country. I typically don't refer to him as the president because I deal in truth. I do call him the convicted felon in chief. He is a convicted felon, convicted 34 felony counts. He has state charges of rape, eating Carol, and other things that he has been found guilty of. But I'm not here to run through the litigation, but I want you to look at this outline. because critics, civil rights organizations, and policy analysts argue that Donald Trump's administration has enacted numerous policies that continue to have a long lasting negative impact on United States citizens. So below is a list of these major actions frequently cited by watchdogs and public institutions. For example, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities and Economic Policy Institute regarding their ongoing domestic consequences. Regardless what you hear coming from the White House, that our economy is great, go to the grocery store, go to the gas station, fill up your tank and see what happens. You're going to stop and think, wow, this stuff is expensive. Believe with your eyes what you're experiencing when you pull out more dollar bills to pay for things that you used not to have to do. Of course, inflation is at an all-time high. So look at economy and consumer affordability. We were hit with these trade tariffs that were imposed broad tariffs that critics argue act as a sales tax. So, we were told about these tariffs, but realize that that money comes back on us. When you raise goods for people to import things to this country, and that tariff is placed on, say, for example, I just say Germany. We consumers pick up that tab, higher tax, as I said here, as a sales tax, raising the cost of everyday goods and manufacturing components for every American family. Another thing of economy and affordability, erosion of worker protections. Since he's been in office, there's been a weakened occupational safety rules, OSHA, rolled back regulations protecting low-income workers, overtime pay, and tipped wages. Everybody's been told that you won't pay taxes on tips. Well, that's only for a few months. Next year, you will be paying taxes. Another aspect of the economy, regressive tax structure. So past tax overhauls providing major permanent breaks for corporations, that mean rich folks and high earners, billionaires, the oligarchs, which critics state worsens wealth inequality. Public infrastructure and government services, civil service declination, reclassify federal worker protections to permit mass firings and structural cuts. That's what his Doge came in at. They got access to our data, people. Musk came in, had access as though he was running this country, leading to significant customer service backlogs at agencies like Social Security Administration and VA. I will say that 325 or 350,000 Black females that worked in civil service for the federal government, they lost their jobs. And I get into the race thing and the culture thing. Remember this shirt that I says, begin with their culture. What kind of culture are we living in right now? Federal funding freezes. There was a pause, congressionally approved federal grants and loans disrupting localized funding for public health, public schools, and community infrastructure. I came out of working in education for decades. I worked in special education and taught classes. I taught at the university level, college level, a lot of educational factors that I am aware of. When this thing happened, I had a lot of my fellow or former colleagues calling me up, wondering how they're going to teach their classes, how they're going to be able to get access to testing materials, so on and so forth. This woman that's running the Department of Education, her dad was the wrestling WWE founder, McMahon. That's her. She She doesn't have an education degree. Trying to get rid of education, Department of Education. We also have safety and overnight staffing. There was a reduction in regulatory oversight, enforced high-level attrition within crucial infrastructure hubs like the Federal Aviation Administration. No, we witnessed so many air traffic or airplane mishaps. It has a lot to do with what they did here. Cutting back on the people that have helped guide planes into safety. Healthcare and social safety nets. So social service reductions. There was imposed structural changes and historic budget cuts to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance SNAP, food stamps, things that fed our kids, Medicaid, impacting low-income families and seniors. I worked in hospice and working with people, low income, people that needed medical services and skilled nursing, cut those benefits back. Healthcare deregulation. There was block legislative expansions meant to subsidize premium costs and roll back affordable drug and insulin pricing guidelines. Medication is difficult to get now. Most significantly, affecting a lot of people, student aid restrictions. There was a tightening in eligibility for income-driven federal student loan repayment plans and downsized funding for Pell Grants. A lot of people like me, other people, went to school receiving Pell Grants. I couldn't think about trying to go to school right now. There's no money for us. But it gets back to the other aspect higher up there that I mentioned before. The corporations, the people with money are being affected by this. And finally, environment and civil liberties. Environment rollbacks. There was a freeze or terminated clean energy transition funds while dismantling EPA mandates tracking greenhouses, gas, and vehicle emissions. I mean, this guy was talking about, we don't need to think about windmills and all kind of conspiracy notions around things that help the environment. Immigration policy. This is a big one I alluded to earlier with the deaths of Nicole Good and Alex Preddy and Keith Porter. Immigration policies. This is one that's really wreaking havoc on all of us. Authorize expanded fast-track deportations, restricted asylum access, and utilize aggressive border measures that rights group state separate families and destabilize local economies. Y'all get the drift. I've talked about this subject before. This ICE to me is another form of a Gestapo, ripping families apart, taking 5-year-olds to detention places. In Florida, we had no Alcatraz alley and all that kind of stuff. These are the things, regardless of your beliefs, if you support him or not support him, common sense, remember the truth shall always set us free. Common sense. This is not me telling you, this is factual. These are the things that have happened to this country. And finally, judicial reshaping. On the Supreme Court, numerous hyper-partisan lifetime federal judges criticized by organizations like the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights for weakening historical protections against systemic discrimination and racism. In other words, they got rid of protecting people that were discriminated against. They basically, in the Department of Justice, got rid of the Civil Rights Division. So you do whatever you want. Hurt people, call them names. These are the things that this man has done since he's been in office. We all are dealing with it every day. So I just wanted to share this with you. Now, this is a nice graphic that I ran across, and I want you to pay attention to this. This was actually something that I discovered, threats to democracy from a Democratic perspective to a Republican perspective. This actually was done in 2022. Things that the Democrats focus on, the insurrection, gerrymandering, we still are going through that. Things that threat democracy, Republicans, abortion restriction, voter suppression, fraud, Trumpism, MAGA everything, any anything GOP, government control, fraud, alternative right, censorship, white supremacy, um, hypocrites, abortion restrictions. Then this is what Republicans say threaten democracy. Biden, right at the top there, abortion restrictions, civil war. Um, they even included in here racism, FBI, um, gas prices, corruption, the Constitution. Um, this man in office wanted to change the Constitution because he doesn't believe in the Constitution. Election fraud, voter suppression. There's some similarities between the Democrats and the Republicans that they feel will threaten democracy. And what I really think is interesting, even the Republicans have voter suppression and voter suppression. And I'm alluding here to um, the Voting Rights Act in Section 2. They pretty much obliterated, um, protection that everybody should vote. Women, Black and brown people, that's basically what Section 2 alluded to. And it's being controlled through partisan map gerrymandering to favor a certain group of people and eliminate some. Just recently, there's been some things that have, through federal legislation, federal judges have gone back and called what they did or tried to do in South Carolina that would have affected Jim Clyburn, said that what they were trying to do is illegal. I was so proud to hear some of those uh, legislators in South Carolina speak up and say, this is wrong. The same thing is happening in Alabama. Come on, people. Culture. We have to do better. We've got to get off of this thing about separating people, the Black people, brown people, and the white people. It's about love. It's about caring. Begin with culture. What kind of culture do you want to have? And finally, I'm trying to get through this fast tonight because I have to get up early in the morning. I showed the last episode regarding the situation that happened with Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White, the culture of basketball, the culture of the WNBA, the culture of the NBA, the culture of the NFL, the culture of the CFL, the culture of USFL. I was going to mention another football league, but I'll just keep it clean. Some of you might know about it. Uh, it's called a LFL. I won't say the name. You can look it up. So I want you to listen to what Caitlin says and what Stephanie says. And you be the judge. You be the judge. I'm still going to stick to my guns. I think Caitlin needs to be on another team. I think she needs to get a new coach, one that understands her style. You can't lock up a thoroughbred like her. You have to let her run. You have to let her play her game. So they're coming out trying to correct what happened that I showed you in the last episode. Caitlin threw up her arms. She was mad. Stephanie seemed mad. But listen to what they say. The truth shall set you free. You all judge, just like you all judge what you think about what this man in office is doing. I showed you some bullet points of what he has done, what he continues to do. So let's listen to Caitlin and Stephanie.
Two people that really want to win, and I think a lot of those things happen all the time, and I know there's a camera on me, and that's how it's going to be. But there's a lot of people out there in the media or on TV that they think they know a lot of things, and they're just blatantly wrong about a lot of things. And I ride for Steph. I ride for these girls. Steph has my back more than anybody. So, nobody in that locker room, in our locker room, or Steph or our coaching staff thought twice about it. It's just another example of what everybody, all of you, want to blow up and make something that is just lost and not in reality.
Now, how would you describe your relationship with Steph?
It's great. Like, there's nobody, like, when I got hurt at the Connecticut game last year, like, I bawled in Steph's arms. Like, that's somebody I will ride for.
These are the kind of things that we, the public, other people, don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But the truth shall set us free. This is Caitlin. She's telling her side of the story. Whether or not she was put up to this, whether or not Stephanie was put up to this, maybe management talked to them. I don't know. Neither do you. We haven't been there. I just know I love the game.
For the rest of my life. Like, those are the moments that people behind, people don't see that. People that just sit on their phones all day, they don't see those moments. They don't see the moments where we come into work. They don't see the moments that really absolutely suck, that people have your back, but they think they know everything. In reality, they don't have a clue. And it's old, but it's the reality in the life that I've lived for the past 5 years, and it's something I'm used to, but me and Steph both know what it is, and that's somebody who I will always ride for. And, she had my back when really nobody else did, so.
Sorry about that.
You're all good.
The fire that you have, the fire that Steph has, obviously, how does that make you better in moments where you want to, where you maybe need that extra push?
Yeah, I mean, I think she coaches me. Like, as bad as I want it, like, Steph wants it the same way for me, and she wants it the same way for this team. Like, she's been in this part of this organization as, a player, as a coach, and, now trying to hopefully get us to, win our second championship as an organization. Like, she wants this for these people. She grew up in this state. She knows what this state's all about and the way they support the Fever. Like, she wants it like just all of us do. And you have to remember, like, she was a player, and like, coaches have the same competitive fire that players do. They just don't get to put on the jersey. And at times, I'm sure that's really hard for them. Like, they want to be out there and maybe have the ball in their hands a little bit. I mean, I don't know that they're getting pretty old, so I don't know if her knees will keep up, but I think that can be the hard thing for them at sometimes. But they want it just as bad as the players do. They're not there to, just stand there and tell us what play to run. Like, they're here, they have a competitive fire, they know what this organization's all about, and they're trying to help us, have a championship mentality and win championships.
What's it like for you to have a moment like that, play out so publicly, and everybody to have an opinion on it?
It's my life. Yeah.
Are you used to it anymore?
Used to it, yeah.
What even led to it? Just the blow up. Not blow up, but like.
I think we were down 20 points, so probably that.
And then for you, Caitlin,
And it wasn't a blow up, so I wouldn't put that either.
Yeah. Sorry for framing.
It's all good.
Well, when you
heads up.
have those moments where you have the passion, you talk about that, and you and Steph have talked about this before. But is there any line that you see within yourself where you're like, maybe I've gone too far, maybe I haven't? How do you?
Absolutely. Like, I'm not perfect, and I know I'm not perfect. And I go back and watch every game, and it's been the same way since college. Like, I know there's an immense amount of pressure, and sometimes that pressure can get to you and, frustrate you in different ways, and certainly can get to you when you're down 15 points. And, that's on me. I have to be a lot better as well, too. And a lot of different scenarios. I'm not speaking to any sort of scenario that has happened in the last couple of games, but, I want to win. This team wants to win. And I'm the point guard, so it's on me to help this team and this franchise win, and I certainly know that. And I take that on my shoulders, and I critique myself more than anybody, and I have to be better. Right now we're playing like a 500 team that we are, and, I have to look myself in the mirror and find ways that I can make this team better, how I can get better individually, and, more than anything, that's going to make us better collectively as a group.
You guys have given up 103 times this season. What
Yeah.
defensive improvements are for you guys?
I think it's just a toughness and a will to play defense. And, we've tried to simplify because we've really slacked in a lot of areas and a lot of the ways that the coaches have wanted us to guard. And that's on us players. We have to rise to the occasion and find ways to get stops and, have a sense of pride in it and a sense of urgency in the things that we're trying to do. And I think also collectively working as one on the court. We're 5 individuals, but you need to have each other's back. One person gets beat, it's next person rotating. Nobody's out there on an island to be by themselves. That's why you got 4 teammates playing with you. That's why you have a bench full of 10 other people. We're all there to help each other. You're there to serve your teammates. And
I just want to emphasize that I understand the word island. A lot of times, Caitlin is put on an island by herself. She gets blitzed, and there's nobody there to help her. There's nobody setting picks and screens to get her separated. She's getting, blitzed 2 and 3 people at a time. So she needs to think about that term island herself.
I think we can all just do a little bit better job of that. And like I said, it starts with me. And I think we'll get it figured out. And more than anything, I think it's just a will and a toughness about us.
For you specifically, how do you think you can improve defensively, Caitlin? Obviously, people are going to go at you because that's part of trying to play.
Yeah. I mean, I expect it to continue to happen. I think I've guarded probably the most isolations in the league so far, but I think it just using my body a little bit better, a lot of backpedaling in the last game. I think forcing the catch out a little bit further, make them take a few dribbles outside the 3-point line rather than them letting them in the paint in their first couple of dribbles. I just think a physicality and a toughness, get them to slide a little bit more laterally than just straight downhill. But I know I have to improve in that area, and I certainly will, and continue to work on it. And it's one of those things. You look in the mirror, you watch the film, you find ways to get better. And I think even comparing the first Golden State game we had here and then the last game, the difference is, I forced them into, 12, 15-foot contested jump shots rather than the, 7-foot shots around the rim. Those are a lot easier for people to make. Those are the shots that we want to take. So I think, just forcing them out a little bit further, forcing them out beyond the 3-point line, and just doing that, just a different level of physicality.
I think what happened in that moment is I was challenging a player. It's coaching. It's what it is. I don't often think it becomes an issue if you're watching it in men's sports most of the time. And my relationship with Caitlin is great. I love Caitlin. I ride with her. We have a great relationship. And I think that the narrative of people trying to make it something that it's not is just, taking sensationalism to try to get some clicks and all the other stuff.
They have to live with it.
She wants to be coached. I want her to help me be a better coach. We're both competitive. We're both stubborn. We're more alike than different. And hopefully we continue to bring the best out of each other.
You've been at this for about 10 years as a head coach. What do you learn about player-coach tension?
Okay, I just want to end it there. It pretty much goes in the same vein. They will ride with one another. The phrase goes around now, you might ride and die. But it's about the culture. What is their culture? We may not totally understand it. There's a lot of issues going on with the WNBA. I'm going to continually follow and support the Fever. Mostly I'm supporting Caitlin because of how I feel so connected there. And in terms of our country, what kind of culture do we want in this country? Because right now, I see it in people's faces. I hear people in the grocery stores, walking down the street. I hope that this is a better time next year for all of us, or tomorrow even. So I'm going to let you go, and I've enjoyed being with you this evening. And no matter what you do, remember, stay positive, keep on keeping on, doing the best you can. God willing, I'll see you next time. It may be a little while before I come back. I got some things, some places I have to go, but I'll be thinking about you. If I can drop an episode, whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, we'll do that. But God bless you. God keep you. And remember, begin with your culture. Peace out.